All right, we got some massive breaking news as officially the Dallas Cowboys Micah Parsons saga comes to an end. They are trading Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. Lucky enough that both myself and JaVon were available to record at this exact moment.
It's crazy.
And I'm going to just share my screen here. I'm going to share the tweet from Jordan Schultz kind of breaking this down. Sources: the Cowboys will receive 2 first-round picks in exchange for Micah Parsons and Kenny Clark. The Packers gave up a haul to get their guy. And then I just want to share this as well. ESPN sources about the trade: Parsons and the Packers have already reached an agreement on a 4-year, $188 million contract. $120 million fully guaranteed, and that is $47 million a year, the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. TJ Watt had just set the market for highest non-QB at 41. Micah Parsons with the Packers, it jumps all the way up to 47. The Packers ultimately give up a haul, 2 first-round picks, and Kenny Clark. We got to talk about this from a Packers standpoint first, because we just did our NFC predictions a little over a week ago, and we both had the Packers missing the playoffs. And Packers fans, before you comment, you guys were idiots then. I don't know about for you, but for me personally, there's only so many times you could really say this and mean it. This is a league-altering trade. This, to me, brings the Packers not only as a for sure playoff team, but as Super Bowl contenders if Matthew Golden pans out.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Golden is kind of like the X factor here, and the Packers are so fortunate in this situation to literally just swap out their best player on their defensive line, basically, with Micah Parsons, and give up no other players on that defense, especially because you know how crazy that the Cowboys defense is, and you thought, maybe they may ask for more players in return. But honestly, they only swapped 1 player and got 2 firsts.
Well, when we talk about this defense now, the interior defensive line is a bit questionable for Green Bay without Kenny Clark at the defensive tackle spot. You have Devontae Wyatt, Carl Brooks, Colby Wooden. But on the edge now, Rashawn Gary and Micah Parsons are going to be an absolute game-wrecking combination. You look at the linebacker core of Quay Walker, Ajirian Cooper. You still have Xavier McKinney holding down that secondary with Nate Hobbs now in at corner. Like, the Packers, to me, with this move, can easily be a top 10 defense in football this year.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I mean, honestly,
they have a potential defensive player of the year. The guy's the favorite to win the award.
You think do you have him as a favorite now over Will Anderson?
He is the betting favorite. He's not who I would place my money on, but Micah Parsons is the betting favorite to win the defensive player of the year. And when I look at this move and when I think about what it does for the Packers, man, we specifically talked about the Packers a week ago, and we got some shit for it, but clearly the Packers agreed with us, where it felt like they had a lot of good players and not a lot of great players. So what did the Packers do? Exchanged one of their good players and some draft capital for a step above a great player. Micah Parsons is an elite player in his prime, coming off of, 4 straight Pro Bowl seasons to start a career, 4 straight 12-sack seasons. Like, this is a Hall of Fame trajectory. Kenny Clark is a good player. He is not Micah Parsons. This is an all-in move from the Packers that we normally don't see from this organization. This is an organization that normally keeps it safe, drafts its future quarterback 2 years before they need him, while their other quarterback's still an MVP, kind of doesn't like to spend money. We saw that they weren't willing to pay Jair Alexander. They have a new president of operations now, and shit's changing for Green Bay. And you look at the NFC North, Detroit was 15-2 last year, looks to still be a contender. Minnesota was a 14-win team last year, looks to still be a playoff team. Chicago only getting better. Green Bay now with this defense? How the hell is one of these teams supposed to miss the playoffs, dude?
It's incredible, man. And Micah Parsons goes from a division where, okay, there's a team in there. It's a little bit more balanced. There's a couple teams that can throw, maybe a team or two, but then there's a team or two that can run the ball pretty effectively. But now, in this division that the Packers are in, You know Caleb is going to like to throw the ball. You know Goff is going to like to throw the ball. You know, as J.J. McCarthy, he didn't throw the ball that much in college, but he has Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison when he comes back. They have Adam Thielen. They have weapons over there as well, and they're going to try to get those players the ball. So Micah Parsons is going to have a lot more opportunities to get to the quarterback now that he's in a different division as well.
And I think it's important to note, compared to an NFC East that had Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels, these quarterbacks are not as mobile as those guys. Micah Parsons could make a bigger impact in Green Bay. I mean, Jared Goff, obviously not very mobile. Caleb Williams is, but if we go based off of his IQ from operating the pocket last year, his mobility might actually be a disservice to him at some times. And J.J. McCarthy coming off of a meniscus tear, who knows where his mobility is at? I know he's still young, but this is seriously a league-altering move. Dallas fumbled the ball with Micah Parsons. We'll talk about Dallas in a second. I do want to just continue to give Green Bay their flowers for getting this deal done. I don't think the 2 first-rounders and Kenny Clark is too much of a price. It's a high price, but you're getting, again, it's not just getting Micah Parsons now. You were getting Micah Parsons for his prime. He agreed to the extension with your team. You have Micah Parsons for the entirety of the prime of his career as an edge rusher. You have the ability to make Micah Parsons at this point be a player that is remembered as a Green Bay Packer. When you look at this team now, with that defense, you still have Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Golden, a good offensive line, Tucker Kraft, Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs, Matt LaFleur calling the plays. We both had them out of the playoffs. I kind of said already that when I readjust these rankings, I'm for sure that they're going to end up in. Are they now a playoff team for you, a fringe playoff team for you, a Super Bowl contender? Where do you look at the Packers today after this move?
I don't know, man. That
instant reaction.
The offense is still shaky to me. Their defense definitely got better. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, you may call me crazy, but initial reaction, I don't think they still make the playoffs, man. I don't think it.
Wow.
Currently, I don't. Like
to me, they've jumped to a playoff team. Yeah. To me, I believe that they have jumped to a playoff team, and if Matthew Golden pans out to be similar to what we've seen some first-round wide receivers in the past few years, it could be all the way up to a Super Bowl team. Let's talk about Dallas now. So Dallas obviously gets Kenny Clark, who they desperately needed on their defensive line. I want to pull up another tweet here just to talk about it from a perspective of who's on this roster. On the defensive side of the ball, you'll be adding Kenny Clark to this, stretch of guys here. He'll probably play over Mozzie Smith. So the interior of their defensive line, Kenny Clark, Odighizuwa, you have Nealand and Dante Fowler. A linebacking room that unfortunately is headed by Kenneth Murray Jr. You have Diggs and Jerome Bland, who the Cowboys have paid money to. This is a bottom 10 defense in football. I'll flatly say it. This is a bottom 10 defense in all of football that the Dallas Cowboys have now, and they are one Dak Prescott ankle sprain away from being the worst team in the NFC East.
This is crazy. I mean, Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs have caught a lot of interceptions in their time with the Cowboys. Kenneth Murray is a veteran.
These guys, I believe, in the secondary have also benefited from having a DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons-led pass rush their entire career. People forget this defensive line already lost DeMarcus Lawrence this offseason.
Yeah, and wasn't Mozzie Smith the first-round pick from a year or two ago?
And he's trash.
Yeah, he may not even be on the team.
Let's call up spade a spade. He's not good. That's why they wanted Kenny Clark back. If he was good, they would have wanted a Lucas Van Ness. There's a reason that they didn't ask for Rashawn Gary. There's a reason they didn't ask for Lucas Van Ness. Kenny Clark, in my opinion, was the best player on the Packers' defensive line.
Yeah.
He's not Micah Parsons, though.
Hey, man, this defense... You could, even if
I think it's bottom 10 in football.
Yeah, and that's with. I mean, I don't even know how you could feel
that's
about
healthy.
The Cowboys. How do you feel about the Cowboys now? Like, obviously, they got worse. But
when I look at the Cowboys, to me, You had them as a playoff team, so I am interested. Or you had them as the 8th seed. You had them
No
right outside the
more.
playoffs as a 10-win team. And I think we both thought that Micah Parsons' deal was going to get done when we made that recording, when we made those predictions. So, that was 2-3 weeks ago. It's interesting to look back at how much has already changed just in that little of a time period. But when I look at the Cowboys now, man, no real run game. An offensive line that got worse. Zach Martin retires. You bring in a rookie. As good as Tyler Booker is, he's not Zach Martin at this point in time. An offensive line that's already banged up as well a little bit. A new head coach in Brian Schottenheimer, who nobody else wanted, if we're being completely honest. A bottom 10 defense. Like Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens better light the fucking world on fire week after week if this team's going to get wins.
Yeah, I mean, they did get 2 first-round picks. You got to figure they value Kenny Clark around
but for
third,
this
fourth
year,
round. Yeah, for this year, it might be cooked.
For this year, they're cooked.
I think this defense is on the board. This defense could be worse than the Cincinnati Bengals.
This defense is Swiss cheese.
Yeah, it's going to be really bad, man. And honestly...
And that's healthy. That is healthy. There's going to be injuries to this defense, man.
Hey, I thought that they would at least get a player or 2 back and maybe 2 first-round picks. They just swapped out. They played the same position. Yeah. They just did a 1-for-1 swap, throwing 2 first-round picks.
Don't get me wrong. An interior defensive lineman is something Dallas needed. It's something they needed while having Micah Parsons on the roster.
They need a lot now. Well, regardless. Yeah. And
do you – I mean, here's the thing. Is the return in its entirety bad for Micah Parsons? No. The fact you were in this situation is what's unforgivable if I'm a Cowboys fan. The fact that we were willing to commit money to Dak Prescott of the $60 million a year account after he had proved nothing time and time again. The fact that they were willing to commit money to Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland after one good season from Bland, and don't get me wrong, I think Diggs is good, but he can't stay on the damn field. CeeDee Lamb is an all-pro caliber player, but edge rusher is more valuable than wide receiver, and you chose to pay CeeDee Lamb. Time after time, they have made the wrong choice in terms of who to pay when they are spending that money, and it caught up to them because they simply couldn't afford the Micah Parsons deal, and Micah knew it, they knew it, and they had to get off of him.
Yeah. You know what I think?
This haul for being backed into a corner, I guess, isn't bad. You got 2 first-rounders, but it's not good that you were in the spot that you had to move them.
Yeah, this is why you don't pay quarterbacks you're not supposed to, man, because when you pay quarterbacks you're supposed to, you feel the need to have to pay a CeeDee Lamb because you're like, okay, I got to pay my quarterback. I got to pay his guy, right? Yep. And with Dak, they pay Dak. He's going to do whatever Jerry Jones says, man. He was willing to get franchise tag, and he was willing to keep his mouth shut, never really cause too much drama. Jerry drafted the guy. They drafted the guy. He was homegrown, never caused any issues. Dallas Cowboys, face of the organization, and just does whatever Jerry says. Now, Jerry follows that, then you feel the need to pay CeeDee Lamb, pay his guy, even though you probably really wouldn't have paid him. You probably would have paid Micah instead of paying him, but you paid
I would have paid
so
Micah
much.
over CeeDee.
You didn't even have to give him
the amount of talent coming out of college now at wide receivers.
That is true.
I mean, shit, like you can get obviously it's not a perfect science, but T. Higgins, Rashee Rice, Ladd McConkey, those are all second-round picks, so everybody had an opportunity to get them at some point. Puka Nacua went in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round towards the end of drafts. Like, there are wide receivers readily available if you again, paying Dak, and we've talked about this at length, paying Dak, paying Trevor Lawrence, paying Tua Tagovailoa. This is the problem with paying these mid-ass quarterbacks, because when they finally have to carry a roster that doesn't have all-pro players on it left and right, we're going to see. But you can't afford to keep the all-pro players if you are structuring contracts the way that Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys do. This was a move and a problem that was centered and fueled by ego. Jerry Jones was on fucking get up, earlier this week and doing interviews with Stephen A. Smith talking about, we got Micah for 3 more years. And
oh, really?
and you didn't. And you didn't, because he was willing to sit out. And I think the nail in the coffin was Micah Parsons was going to get a second look at his back. And I don't know what you know about back injuries. As somebody who has had one, it doesn't have to show up on an MRI.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to show up on any kind of medical equipment. There are nerves that are so small, especially in your neck and back area, that it doesn't show up on medical equipment. And if you just say that it hurts, you can kind of get away with it.
Man.
And if Micah Parsons goes to a doctor that's going to say you got a back injury, he could miss and get paid. He's not sitting out. He's hurt. So, as much as Jerry Jones has liked to have said that he's in control, he caved and paid Dak. He caved and paid CD. He caved and traded Micah. And if he had, again, and isn't just the Micah thing. Micah could have been paid a year ago. CD could have been paid early. Dak could have been paid early. And all that money you saved, you could have kept all 3. But instead, you ride your ego, and this is what happens. You crash and burn. And the Dallas Cowboys are not going to be a playoff team. The Dallas Cowboys are going to have a top 10 pick in the draft this upcoming year. In the Dak era in Dallas, the best we saw of it was 2 years ago when they were the 2 seed and lost to the 7 seeded Green Bay Packers. It all comes back to this. So I don't want to be up here too long about it, as given just kind of an instant reaction to get this video out. I think the Packers, this is a smash deal for them. I think that there will be a playoff lock at this point. They have the head coach in LaFleur. Jordan Love right now is still a top 2 quarterback in this division. Your defense now, I believe, is top 2 in the division. Your offensive line is still really solid. If Matthew Golden pans out, man, I think Matthew Golden panning out is what could make this team a Super Bowl threat. But we shall see, and Dallas is in the fucking dumpsters. So, as always, be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of this monster blockbuster deal? JaVon, I appreciate you taking some time to join us here. We will catch you guys next time. Peace.
Yes, sir.